it's Kelly Roach, and you're listening to the 360 Entrepreneur with Jan Ilonga.
This is episode 186, and today we talk about how to engineer your celebrity status to attract more clients. Here we go.
Welcome to the 360 Entrepreneur Podcast, the show for entrepreneurs and small business owners who dream big and want to do bigger. Join some of the world's top entrepreneurs, internet marketers, and best-selling authors as they share their inspiring stories, their struggles, and give actionable tips that will help you build, grow, and promote your online business. Here's your host, Yanni Lunga.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to this brand new episode. Like always, you heard it in the intro. I'm your host, Yanni Lunga, coming to you all the way from Helsinki. And today, we focus on engineering your celebrity status. And in case you're wondering what the heck that means, no worries. First and foremost, you don't have to be an engineer to be here and learn about today's content. We are joined by Kelly Roach from kellyroachcoaching.com, and she has some great advice on things you can do to position yourself as an expert and attract more clients. And what she discusses throughout the interview are things that apply to you, whether you're just starting out or even if you already have an established community, customer base, and you're looking to attract more high-paying clients. The show notes for today's episode can be found over at yannilunga.com/episode 186. All right, time to get started. Here's the interview with Kelly Roach from kellyroachcoaching.com. Today is here an entrepreneur, author, podcaster, coach who helps her client not grow, but really skyrocket their sales and business. She's the author of the #1 international bestseller, Unstoppable, 9 Principles for Unlimited Success in Business and Life. And she's also a podcaster, as I said. She's the host of the popular show, Unstoppable Success Radio. I'm so thrilled to welcome on the show, Kelly Roach. Kelly, how's it going?
Thanks for having me, Jan. Excited to be here with you.
Great. And I know we have a lot to cover. And when I was preparing for the interview, I saw that you really touch on so many interesting things with your business, with your consulting services, that I was like, yeah, your expertise really makes for a perfect topic of an interview. And I think the first question that is in order here, Kelly, is for me to ask you about your book, Unstoppable. And the reason why I start with the book is because of the title, Unstoppable, which is kind of a keyword of yours, right?
It is. And, it's a word that I started using in kind of all of my branding. And it stands for a mindset, Jan.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, it's about the mindset that I have about life, and it's about attracting other people that also have that mindset.
Right.
And what that is it's a way of being. It's kind of an understanding that we were all put here with a plan and a purpose. And it's about being so committed to your future, so committed to your goals and dreams that no matter what life throws at you, no matter what challenges come your way, no matter what obstacles knock you down, you always get back up. You always keep fighting for your future. You always keep believing in yourself and putting one foot in front of the other to meet and achieve your goals.
I love that. And I have to ask you, Kelly, to touch on what you just said, is there something, maybe a kind of ritual of yours, or I don't know, an app or something you use to kind of motivate yourself, especially maybe during tough times, because we know that entrepreneurship is a roller coaster ride. Is there something you do that you think the listeners could benefit from if maybe somebody is here with you and I, and he or she is having tough time right now?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that keeps me motivated, Jan, is really focusing on staying in gratitude. I begin and end every single day with a gratitude meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that for quite a while now. And for me, that is the biggest thing that keeps me motivated, because it always helps me to put in perspective all of the blessings, all of the gifts, all of the opportunities that I have in my life, no matter what is happening in any given day or at any given moment. I believe that when you have perspective and when you can see the bigger picture and the scope of the meaning of maybe a specific challenge or problem that you're working on, it helps you to bounce back. It helps you to bounce back more quickly and keep moving forward. And so I would say the number one thing, if you need a tool for motivation, is to begin and end your day every single day with gratitude, because it will give you that strength to push through those obstacles and that kind of internal power and conviction to realize that whatever you're dealing with right now, it's not the final determination. It's just a test that you need to, decide which way you're going to go in response to.
The power of gratitude. I love it. Thank you, Kelly, for sharing that with us. So I said the title of your book is Unstoppable: 9 Principles for Unlimited Success in Business and Life. And I think the book itself could make for an entire podcast episode. But could you take a moment to tell us what the book is about? And maybe if you can share one or two of the principles that you discuss in it.
Yeah, definitely. So the book is about simplifying and connecting the dots for people. Because what I see over and over again is that people either understand business principles, but their life is out of whack, or they understand life principles and their income is out of whack, or whatever the case. And it's really about helping people to see how those dots are all connected. It's really about simplifying for people the 9 core things that are going to help you to not only achieve your income and business goals, but create a life that you absolutely love in the process of doing it. And that is something for most people that has been out of grasp, up until this point. Most people don't feel like they have either the income that they want, or a business that they love, or a life that they really feel fulfilled living. And this book is intended to be a catalyst for people to simplify the process of bringing those things into their life and to help them to understand the mindset, the skill set, and the strategy in order to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Kelly. And like in every episode, I'll make sure to link to the book and everything else we cover in the show notes, so that if you're here with Kelly and I, and maybe you'd like to dive deeper into Unstoppable, you're going to find the link there, as I said, in the show notes. And Kelly, I thought we could talk about some of the things that you discuss also on your podcast, on your blog, some of the things you do with your clients, because I think they would be very, very beneficial. And the first thing I would like to ask you when it comes to that is to take a moment to tell us more about the pros and cons of direct selling. I mean, if somebody's here with you and I, Kelly, and is like, yeah, direct selling, yes, no, what would you tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing, Jan. There's people listening today that are already in business, and that's great. And there's a lot of people that are probably listening today that have that dream of being their own boss and having the freedom and the income opportunity of becoming a business owner. And many people that start businesses, well, the vast majority of people that start businesses, Jan, do not have experience running a company. Right. They do not have experience in business growth strategy, in marketing, in sales. And that's why 95% of businesses fail. And so I always say that if you haven't started a business and you're not completely sure what business you want to start and you want to test the waters as an entrepreneur, direct selling is a great place to start, because it's something that you can do on the side in the pockets of your spare time. There's little to no investment needed to get started, and you learn the skill of selling. And, although that's the number one thing that people want to avoid, is having to get uncomfortable and sell and promote and put themselves out there, that's the make or break.
Right.
So if you start a direct selling company and you just can't get yourself to get out there and to sell and to market your business, well, chances are you're not intended to be an entrepreneur. Because the number one success skill, the number one thing that's going to make you a successful entrepreneur is to get good selling in whatever form that's going to take, whether it's through webinars or podcasts or live video streams or, traditional sales. It doesn't matter. So I always say, test the waters with direct selling. If you can't cut it there, you're not going to be able to cut it as an entrepreneur. And direct selling is pretty much the safest way you can get started with the lowest overhead and the least risk, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And I love that you took a moment, Kelly, to give us this reality check, because you said it. I mean, if we are business people, at the end of the day, we really have to take care of the business part of what we do. So we really have, if we are people who are afraid to sell, to market, whatever, we really have to get uncomfortable and familiarize ourselves with the idea of being outside of our comfort zone when it comes to this. And you said direct selling is a great way to test the waters and see whether entrepreneurship really is for us or not at the end of the day. And another thing I want to ask you is in one of the articles on your blog, and I'll link to that in the show notes as well, you talk about why entrepreneurs need both active and passive income. And I think it's a very interesting point because I think that often there is kind of this romanticized picture of passive income that is like, yeah, you just don't do anything and make money, basically, kind of definition. But entrepreneurship is not really that. So, Kelly, why do we as entrepreneurs need both active and passive income?
Yes. Well, Jan, it's so important that as entrepreneurs, we realize that we're humans and that we're not going to live forever.
Right.
And that when we build a business around us, the entrepreneur, that if we were to get in a bad car accident or if we were to get sick or if we were to have to take an extended period of time off in our businesses, that there has to be a way to continue to produce income. And most people have such a short-sighted viewpoint and strategy in their business that they don't even think about that.
Right.
Now, passive income is one of the hardest things to make work in your business. And that's why most people are not successful with it. And that's why most people end up saying that passive income, opportunities are a scam and that kind of thing. It's not. And there is, an opportunity out there to make great passive income, but it is a lot of work, probably the most work to actually set that up and to get it up and running. So you truly have to be a future focused person that's planning for a strategy in your business where, I always say, even if you have a strategy where you say, okay, I'm going to try and add $100 a month to my business of passive income. Well, over 10 years, you're going to get to the point where you're earning $12,000 a month every month in passive income. But it's something that you have to plan for. It's something you have to strategize around. It's something you have to work at on an ongoing basis. And it is certainly not something that is going to be an overnight success. But if you really care about your family and you really care about the people that you love that are counting on you, passive income is something that's very, very important to be focused on because, again, we're human and we can't assume. I'll give a perfect example. Over the last couple of weeks, I was very, very sick and I had to cancel, I think like 20 interviews and client calls and all sorts of things. I was coughing so badly that I couldn't even be on the phone with people. And that's the work that I do. If I didn't have passive income in my business, that would have been a big problem. Right? So, and these are the kinds of things that we don't think about and we don't plan for. So does that kind of give a little bit of background there, Jan, on what I'm talking about in regards to the importance of passive income?
Yeah, absolutely, Kelly. Thank you for that. I think you made it really clear because, by also making the example of you being sick these last few days, I think it makes it very clear that, sometimes we think we are invincible and we, just look at the future, but we don't think about bad circumstances or we don't think, okay, what if this happens or what if unfortunately I fall ill and I'm unable to perform my coaching services, or if I'm a speaker, I'm not able to attend events that I was supposed to attend as a keynote speaker or things like that. So I think, Kelly, you really made the point of the importance of, first of all, not putting all of our eggs in one basket and really think about passive and active income. And you said it, passive income is very difficult because it's something that it takes a lot of work to set up a passive income system. And then it's so that in order to get results, it takes longer than with an active income system. So that's also why, as you said, some people refer to passive income with a negative connotation. And since you are a coach, Kelly, and I think what I'm about to ask you ties to some extent into what we're talking about here, is when it comes to coaching, when it comes to working with people, having clients, everybody would love to be in the position where they don't kind of have to chase the clients, but rather turn the table and have the clients, quote unquote, chase them. So I remember that you talked about that in one of your podcast episodes, and I made a note here to ask you about it. So can you tell us a couple of things that we can think about and do in order to turn the table and, again, stop chasing clients and have clients look for us?
Absolutely. So, and I actually have an entire free training series around this topic. So if it's okay, I would love to share that with our listeners here.
Absolutely.
We'll get to that in just a second. But so to answer your question, Jan, yes, that is probably the biggest thing that every entrepreneur wants to experience in their business is people and opportunities flowing to them versus them having to figure out how to go out there and chase them and scrape and claw to make the bills or to make a profit or to be able to afford to get help. And for most, that seems impossible or unreachable. But the truth is, it's entirely possible and it's probable if you do certain things in your business. And the best way to describe it, Jan, is you have to have over the top, consistent and highly valuable content that your audience is showing up to participate in and engage with every single week. And so you need to make sure that you're doing things to engineer your celebrity. This is one of the biggest topics that I talk about all the time because it's something that initially I really didn't understand and I couldn't find anyone that was teaching it. And once I got it and once I figured out how to make this work in my business, it's now become one of the key things that I teach because I know it's something that entrepreneurs struggle so badly with, and that is to engineer your celebrity. That's when you become the go-to niche authority in your field that people want to pull out their credit card and pay to buy your courses, your programs, to work with you, etc., because they've already experienced you in such a highly valuable, highly engaging way that they don't need more proof of concept. Right. And the best ways to do that today, Jan, are what we're doing right now, podcasting, one of the biggest revenue generators in my business. We have people joining our programs every single week from Unstoppable Success Radio, doing a weekly webinar, huge opportunity to sell one-to-many and to engineer your celebrity in your niche or field. And the third would be utilizing live video. So I would say those are the three biggest, easiest, fastest opportunities out there today to engineer your celebrity. And like I said, I have an entire free training course around this to help people get the ball rolling in their business. And everyone can access that by going to kellyroachcoaching.com/celebrity.
Love it. Thank you, Kelly. And I'll make sure to include the link to this one as well in the show notes. And I love the concept you just expressed with us. And if we think about the marketing channels, the authority building medium you mentioned, podcasts, live webinars, live video, the barrier of entry is so low. I think has never been this low. So why not to take advantage of that? And I mean, you said we even have your training where we can literally get the blueprint to implement these things. And what I like about what you shared with us, Kelly, is that we can really set up a system, right? And make the three components work together.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly people ask me all the time, like, should I do this or should I do that? And definitely the most powerful thing that you can do in your business is set these things to work as almost like an ecosystem in your business where people are flowing from podcast to webinar and webinar to live video and vice versa. And, the biggest reason why people struggle or fail to engineer their celebrity is 1, getting started, 2, being consistent, and 3, challenging yourself to continue to improve week after week after week until you see the results that you want. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. I'm a very no BS kind of person. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. The people that scale up and win big in business work at their craft and work at their ability to convey their marketing message in an effective way every single day. They challenge themselves to get better. And so you have to truly be committed to this concept and want it bad enough and realize the opportunity that comes with it and commit over a period of months and even years to this concept. It's not something that you're going to do once or try for a few days or a few weeks and suddenly, reinvent the industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you, Kelly, again, for giving us a wake-up call, a reality check, because you said it takes time. And also, if we think about podcasts, for example, is an industry that has yet to really explode. So there is room for opportunity, but at the same time, in certain niches, there can be already a lot of noise. So it's important, as you said, that we really focus on working on our own craft, really crafting our skills, become better every single day, every single week, every single month. And you said it, we have to be consistent. Nothing beats consistency, really. So whether your go-to medium, our podcasts, is video, articles, it doesn't really matter. Just follow Kelly Roach's advice and make sure to be consistent. And Kelly, I have another question for you related to basically to everything we're talking about, because it has to do with clients. And you mentioned the training, kellyroachcoaching.com/celebrity. And then you actually have also another training, the 0 to 100K training. And in one of these video series, you talk about how to close more clients at a higher rate. So obviously, again, I'll link to that as well. And there you talk about it in depth. It's a video that really covers the topic from inside and out. But still, could you take a minute or two to share your advice for some of the things we should think about and do in order to be able to close more clients at a higher rate?
Definitely. So getting to the 100K mark in your business is such a crucial milestone, because when you get to the 100K mark, you can easily invest in staff. You can easily invest in advertising and visibility. Mm-hmm. You can spend money on the right things to leverage up and scale your business. And so my mission with this free training is to help people get to that point so that they can go from being in the rat race, down in the weeds, struggling, clawing, scraping to get by, to becoming the CEO of their business, where they can focus on things that are going to allow them to leverage their time, make more money, have more freedom, all of that. And what most people don't realize is that with just 10 high dollar clients, you can easily get to the 100K mark in your business. And so this 4-part free video training series is teaching people how they can charge that, how to get the clients that will pay that, how to position themselves to do that, and how to quickly, within 6 months or less, get to the point where they add 100K to their business so that they can then take those next steps. And I am very, very detailed and very specific in these trainings. So I would really engage and excite anyone that is listening today that is not quite there, or maybe you're already there and you want to quickly add that next 100K. Go register for that training. You can get that by going to kellyroachcoaching.com/blueprint.
Kelly, you are giving us advice, and you are really leaving no room for excuses, no room for sitting on our thumbs. And I want to ask you for another thing. You are telling us about the trainings. I mentioned your book, and you also are a podcaster. So you said the podcast has been a very valuable tool for your business. So I want to ask you, Kelly, can you take a moment to tell us why? It's a two-folded question. Number one, why you decided to launch Unstoppable Success Radio with Kelly Roach? And number two, what your podcast does for your business and brand?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Unstoppable Success Radio has definitely been the most fun thing that I have done since I started my business. I'm so passionate about it. We do 3 shows a week. And each show that we do is a little bit different. There's a theme for each show. Monday, I do a teaching segment on content and strategy. On Wednesdays, we have a guest expert. And on Fridays, we do Ask Kelly episodes. So each of those episodes is designed around user written in or listener written in questions, which is so much fun.
Right.
And, I launched the podcast really as a way to expand our reach and offer a free medium for people to engage with our brand and, to expand globally and make an impact for more people in a highly leveraged capacity. And that's exactly what it's done for us. In terms of the way that it's helped to grow the business, as I mentioned already, we have people joining our coaching programs, buying our courses every single week that come from the podcast. Mm-hmm. And we find that out by surveying. We ask every single person that, joins a program or buys a course, where did you find out about us? How did you, get excited about what we're doing here? And many, many people are coming from the podcast. Now, I will say we work very, very hard with the strategy of getting people from the podcast onto our email list. And we have people joining the list every week from that. So, we spend every Tuesday morning, we have a team call where we spend over an hour strategizing with my entire team on how to improve the podcast, how to expand our listenership, how to make more conversions and sales, how to add more value. So we work very, very hard to continually improve. And, it's delivered great results for us. And I really look forward to continuing to improve and, making it the best podcast out there for entrepreneurs and small business owners that want strategy, inspiration, and actionable content to go further, faster, in accomplishing their goals.
Wow, Kelly, one can really tell from your voice that you love, and I really mean you love being a podcaster, because you really were on fire. And I really like the fact that you stressed the strategic side of podcasting. And I think that's so critical, because if we look, especially in the entrepreneurial space, there are so many podcasts, but I think that oftentimes the component that is really missing is an actual strategy, because everybody can start a podcast. And I think that oftentimes, especially new podcasters, they get so tangled up with like the microphone and this and that they don't have an actual strategy. So what happens is they just publish, sometimes even randomly, and then they're like, podcasting isn't working. It can work. It's a very powerful resource. First of all, because it allows us to build a human connection with our audience, right, Kelly, through our voice.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the number one things that it does, for sure.
And then number two, as you said, as a strategic medium, allows us to direct people toward specific parts of our website, our email list, our webinar registration page, and things like that. And Kelly, we have mentioned your site, kellyroachcoaching.com. I know that you're also on Twitter at kellyroachint. And if somebody would like to ask you a question, or maybe they simply want to connect with you or say thank you, what would you say is the fastest way to do that? Is it Twitter?
Yeah, we have a very strong presence on Twitter. So at Kelly Roach INT is a great place to connect, or even just email me, coaching@kellyroachcoaching.com if you want to connect, learn more about what we do. And of course, visit the website, kellyroachcoaching.com.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. So you heard it. There are many different ways that you can use to get in touch and learn from Kelly Roach. And once again, everything is going to be linked to in the show notes, including the 2 trainings. And Kelly, to wrap up this conversation, I want to ask you, do you have any final tip or any final kick in the butt to really push people to take action and become unstoppable?
I think the key thing here, Jan, is that you were given every dream that you have in your heart for a reason and with a purpose. And, your job here on the planet is to do the best that you can do, to be the best that you can be, and to stretch and challenge yourself every day to move forward. So no excuses, no stories, put one foot in front of the other and just get started doing what you can from where you are.
Love it. Kelly, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your expertise, for inspiring us, and really for what you do for the entrepreneurial community. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. What a great conversation today. I hope it added a lot of value for your listeners. And thank you for the opportunity, Jan.
And we are back. Kelly, thank you so much for making this happen, even though you weren't 100% health-wise, but the content was fantastic. So thank you so much for pulling through and making this happen. Really am thankful. And you heard it. Kelly shared a couple of different resources, a couple of different trainings she had. We mentioned her book, her podcast, and so forth. Like always, you know what's coming. The best way to get access to all the resources we mentioned, maybe you've missed something, no worries, just head over to the show notes page. The one for today is janilunga.com/episode 186, so that you find the links to everything Kelly Roach and I have talked about. This is it for today. In the next episode, we're gonna talk about personal branding. And we talked about personal branding in the past, but this time we're gonna talk about personal branding and storytelling, and how you can leverage storytelling to reinforce your personal brand. All right, time for me to go. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the 360 Entrepreneur Podcast. For more tips and tools, head over to www.janilunga.com.